Welcome back, fishing friends, to the worldwide headquarters of the Pinhook Fishing Club. Alright, gotta work on some lures. I went out this morning and the fishing was absolutely horrible. You'll have to watch and see what happened out there. But anyway, so I'm gonna be talking about some lures I had repaired, painted, and then I gotta fix some lures. And then I've got to make some modifications to a few of them. So let me get you in the stand here and then we'll get started. Alright. There we go. Okay. First things first. Well, let me tilt this up a little bit. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name's Alan. And I make fishing videos and all kinds of videos. But today I'm going to be talking about all kinds of things, and maybe even tie one or two. Alright guys, I gotta get my glasses on here. I'm all sputting and gutting, super tired I just put all the Christmas stuff in the attic, breaking a sweat from moving boxes. But let's get to it. So I did get a package today when I got back from fishing that I was really happy to see, and it is from Dark Corners Custom Crankbaits. And so Blake does this. Look at that. So I sent him a handful of lures. This is a Rebel, vintage Rebel, and these were all beat up, crusty, and he even gave me hooks. I sent him with no hooks, and these were just in bad shape, these lures. These are ones that I had gotten from a retired angler. You've heard me talk about that before. And he gave his stuff to a gentleman who then gave them to my brother. And then my brother gave me all these tackle trays full of stuff. And I saw a bunch of these lures. Sadly, there was like maybe three others that weren't salvageable. And one of them I gave away. And it was just kind of I should have kept them and sent all of them to Blake. But the ones I did send to Blake, he repaired, repainted. And so I got them back. Anyway, so I'll show you these. This is a Rebel. Even with my glasses, I'm having a tough time seeing this. I don't know, I can't tell it. Deep Weir, something like that. Maybe you can read right there what it says. But then he puts his little logo on the bottom. DC. Dark Corners. He's over in the South Carolina. It's a region called Dark Corners. Alright, let's see what else he did. Nice shad pattern. So he knew exactly where I lived, so he knew exactly what to paint. And so a little bit of purple, guys, with any baits for largemouth and smallmouth. Just something about it is fantastic down there. It shows up really well. There's a lot of science in what happens to colors down beneath the surface. Like red eventually gets down deep enough, when there's less light it turns into like a brown. Blue will hold its color. Oh, by the way, this lure, we couldn't figure out what company it was. There's like no markings on it. There's two of those. This one is an old Bomber, and he got the eyes on there, and he's got his DC for Dark Corner. Good stuff. Are they perfect? Yes. Do they have to be? No. Here's another one. Here's the other one. It's kind of the twin of the first one. He did this one in like a green. Now I got them all stuck together. So here's this one, and here's the match to it. Get my fat fingers out of there. But he did this one in more like a, it's not a baby bass, but it's like a green sunfish kind of deal. Once again, I sent him to him as just corroded pieces of junk, and he fixed them. Look at this little pencil neck. This thing was just crusted up, and he put just an absolute fantastic color on there. A little bit of purple there. He's got a little scale pattern. He got the eyes all set. And then, of course, I love my lipless crankbaits. You can hear the rattle in them. There we go. I'm holding the DC up, and I'm probably holding it where you can't even read it. It's backwards. Alright, there we go. So nice lipless crankbait. And here's this little Rapala, this little torpedo-y dude. Oh. Did he put a new bill on there for me? I think he put a new bill on here. Check out how he did the eyes. It's like a little bullet right there. I think he redid the bill, because it looks a lot different. It looks a lot cleaner. Yeah, these look good. Alright, so there we go. A big shout out and thanks to Blake over at Dark Corner Custom Crankbaits. You need anything painted or repairs, and he does a lot for lure companies. He paints their lures, he does replica fish, so he does all kinds of stuff. If you ever listen to Tackle Talk, excuse me, I'm all hung up under here. What is that? Oh. Anyway, so if you ever listen to Tackle Talk Live, Andrew Hayes that's on there, he sends him his lures to fix. Alright, I gotta sort these out because I need to make some repairs to some stuff and switch some baits out. These are some rhythm waves. Bass Assassins. So I keep them in here because these are soaking or have been soaking in Procure. Ah, here are my spark shads. The thing is, I try not to get the tails crimped. Alright, so what am I doing with this, might you ask? Well, I got my order of Mepps single hook lures, and let me get this out of the way. I got a whole bunch of them. Good prices, exactly what I need. So, because some of the ones I've been using, is that all of them? No. I'll show you these that are in the tackle box. They're just in rough shape. That one's not bad. That one's not bad. Bear with me, guys. This one's in good shape. That one's in good shape. I should be doing this live. Alright, this one we're having a little trouble with. But there you can see the spark shad on there. This one is This one's in good shape. Man, this one's in rough shape. This one's in rough shape. So what I'm going to do is I got to replace those, and I save them. I put them as backups. And these are the Aglia Brights. Size 3. Size 3, I've caught everything from big pike to small largemouth to smallmouth and big smallmouth. Well, what is going on here? Oh my gosh, guys, I can't even open a wrapper. Crying out loud, what is going on here? Alright, here we go. Look at that shine. Check that out. Here's the other one. See, it's all chipped, banged up. Now, I do use Mother's Polish to clean these up, so that'll go into the cleanup pile. Uh-oh. Ah, it's fine. I was going to say, that guy's just super crusty. Alright, there we go. What's going on here? There we go. So we're set up there. I like the single hook. And Mepps does make its Comet Minnow. And the Comet Minnow has got an actual fish on it. What is going on here? Hang on, guys. This one's too far gone because it's not threading in there right. We're going to get one of these little baby bass colors. There we go. Now we're set. Alright, so we got our spark shad all set up on this one. So a couple of these other ones, like this one's on a little Kitech. Threw that one today, he didn't have any luck. This is, oh, I can't ever remember, it's Fork, Lake Fork, something minnow. It's pretty good. Dang it, I can't ever remember that, what it's called. Alright, this thing is, we got some problems with that one. Alright, so this one is good. This one is good. It's been catching me a lot of fish, that kind of white color. And then this kind of brown copper color has been doing great. Alright, so that's it. I just added one, updated one. These other ones that are still in the packages, these other Mepps, these are my backups for this summer for Iowa. So this one's got that black body, silver blade, orange body, gold blade, black body, gold blade, purple body, silver blade. I'm excited to try that one out. That one may get used here before spring. Silver body, silver blade. Okay, let me get these out of the way here. I gotta show you guys something super special. But first, gotta do a little housekeeping here. So these ones I soak and procure, just keep them in their own little Ziploc bags, and then I put them in another Ziploc bag. And they go over to where I store all my tackle plastics. Alright guys, so I got some more material for my crappie jigs. Special shout out to a great family. They know who they are. I appreciate that very, very much. So we may tie one of those here in just a little bit. But first, I got a whole bunch of my cross-side Z-Man baits right here. I call them all jackhammers, like this one's a jackhammer, but there's different ones. So I've never thrown this one with a little weed blocker on here, this little weedless setup, and it's called the cross-side. And so these are little chatterbaits. Now, somewhere over here, here they are. So I like to use, on this color I'm going to go with a green pumpkin. This tail, hang on guys, this always does that. This one light turns off. Oh, I don't even set it on like a sleep time or anything. Alright, so this is an Exo Stick by Biospawn, and I put it as the trailer. I love these because they're sleek, they add a little weight, they improve the function of it in terms of attractability, gaining attention in the water. And some of them, I've got some here today that I'm going to put there we go. Oops. I punched it through. I gotta get these. There we go. I've got some little craw type baits. See, the thing is, guys, these lights are blinding me, and I'm trying to line it up right there. Jeez Louise. There we go. I keep forgetting I need to get that in front of the camera, huh? Okay, that came out perfect. It's got these little keepers on there, little bait keepers. Alright, that tail lined up nice. Okay, so this goes through the water. It shakes like crazy. And there you can see it's the original chatterbait from Z-Man. So this one's a little cross-eyed one. Let me see if you can see his eyes right there. Then I have some of the smaller ones, which are like the original. Look at that, way less skirting material. And, excuse me, just a little bit lighter. So I got some of those in, but I gotta get these trailers on these guys. Alright, so this one's, I love blue, black, and green pumpkin. The best colors for just about anything. The other thing is, sometimes, guys, I trim the skirts up on these. I'm not going to do it now. It's usually when I'm out there on the water. Alright, where are we with this? This black and blue June bug kind of color. There we go. Let's get the weed guard out of the way. There we go. There we go. It came off just a little bit, so I had to reset it, but it's good. I never put super glue on there like a lot of guys do, but it'll be fine. Let's get these weed guards set right. Alright. There we go. Alright, let's see. This one is kind of a reddish, looks like a craw color. This little keeper right here, I just got to crimp it down just a little bit. Not much, just a little. Do I have any more tails left? I got one. You know what? This guy's going to get a craw-colored smallie beaver. Split the tail right there so it gets all that action. And it's going to match up nice with this one. Yep, it's a great color. Come on. These have been sitting in that Procure and they are slick. There we go. What was that? Something stuck me and it wasn't a hook. Piece of the weed guard. Oh, this thing looks good. Alright, we're set. Perfectly matched tail there. Alright, here's the one I'm using our green pumpkin with. Let me crimp this down. You guys probably can't see what I'm doing here. I always forget to put things in front of the camera. Alright, here we go. Look at that, perfect. Let's get these. Actually, I probably need to have them flat if they're going to be in the tray, but you get the idea how they flare out a little bit. And sometimes I even trim them just a little or take them off. Alright, so this guy's good to go. Alright. We got two left, a white and a red craw. That red one is going to get a black trailer. Yep, this color is going to work right here. So I like to get these pre-rigged for when I get out to the water. They're all set, and then I'm not kidding, guys, as soon as I hit the road and I head up to Iowa, everything is in time management mode because I'm up there for summer vacation, so I don't have a lot of free time to be, or I mean I have a lot of free time, but I don't have a lot of time to be goofing around trying to get tackle set that I could get it done way ahead of time, if that makes sense. There we go. So I try to get everything pre-rigged is what I'm saying, so I'm ready to go and hit the water. There we go. Seems like it's kinked up a little bit, but that's fine. These tails, guys, I'm telling you, are just phenomenal in the water. Alright, let's get these back in here. Oh, wait a minute. I do have one more. This guy. The question is, what color do we go with him? Do we go with that black, that June bug, black and blue, or do we go with green pumpkin? Or go with a white trailer, like solid white, which I have that Cajun trailer. I think I'm going to go with the green pumpkin Reaction Innovations Smalley Beaver tail. This guy right here. It's going to have a lot of action. And you know, the thing is, see, in the wintertime, I like the solid straight tails because it's a little more subtle. And I can always swap those for the summer when I need something more flashy like this. But I've caught the fish here in the wintertime with the flashy tail too. Check that out. Super smooth. There we go. Alright guys, if you've never thrown these bladed jigs, these jackhammers or these chatterbaits, you gotta get some. Alright, we're all set in that department. Let me conduct an experiment here. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so we've made some good progress. I need to show you guys something here for an experiment. Let me see one that we can actually see. Okay. These smaller original ones don't have any eyes on there. Excuse me. But I do have packs of these eyes. Let me put some on here and see what happens. This may look totally ridiculous, and really I should be flattening the side. I should be flattening it so that it sits flat. Ooh. Yeah. This may be the only one we put these on. We may go to those smaller crappie eyes. Let's see. That one's too high, that one's too low. Sorry guys, I'm always forgetting to put this in front of the camera when I'm doing this stuff. Alright. I mean, it's doable. It'll work on like this guy, but I'm not going to do it on the rest of them. Hey, it's just an experiment, you know, so. Because I don't have anything else I'm going to do with these eyes. Those eyes came for something from years ago. Oops, too much. Dang it. No, it actually turned out okay. Alright. Okay guys, so this one's got big googly eyes. But this is a cool pattern right here. It's like a bluegill. It's got gray and white. That's a killer pattern. Alright, so lesson on this is don't go with the googly eyes on that. Let me set this dude down right here. Alright guys, so when I was fishing this morning, and you'll see the clip of me fishing this morning. I got that set up ready to go once we're done here. But I gotta tell you something. This, you know, I'm not a person that brags or anything, but there were some dudes fishing down there super early, and they were in the spot I usually go to. So I moved down further, and I wasn't there but maybe 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. And I hooked up and just whacked a nice bass. And oh man, it was such a good feeling. And I could hear them saying, man, he already caught one, and this, that, and the other. And they must have been there for at least an hour. I mean, they had lawn chairs set up, 2 rods each. I mean, it was like a fleet. And they were along the river there. And it just, you know, it kind of makes you feel good that you have a clue as to what you're doing fishing wise. And, you know, the thing is, I'm no pro, I'm no expert, but it was awesome to kind of know that, you know, that actually was pretty cool today, that I was a real hammer out there to get their attention. Oh, come on. Here we go. Let's get this sorted out here. It's kind of late here, guys, and I've been out fishing all day for what seemed to be an eternity in that cold weather. Alright, hey, once again, a special thank you to a family that hooked me up with this nice crappie tying material. Natural feathers are just legit. So they know who they are. I appreciate it big time. So thank you very much. Let's get some flash in here. Alright, I'm having to use this 220 green, which is, it's fine. It's just a little bit stiffer than what I'm used to using. I don't know if I'm going to remember to even get some more black tying material. Alright, let me get this situated here. See how it kind of pops? It's a little bit thicker. It's like a multi, and the thing is, it's almost like it wants to shred. Oh, well, it is what it is. I gotta get some more. Alright, guys. Remember, I'm no pro at this. Still working, still learning. Oh man, that's going to be absolutely phenomenal. God, this is going to be epic. Hey, come back here, you little fluff. Look at this, guys. It's going to be epic. It's just a little bit of flash. It's going to reach out on each side. And this, the feathers, God, natural colors. It's got a hint of red in there. Ooh. Alright, I'm going to put you here so you can dry. Guys, this is awesome. Thank you so much to the wonderful family that set me up with that. That is awesome. Alright, let's keep it going. This one I'm going to put a little bit of orange in. Let's get you in there. Somebody was asking me what little vise this is, what company makes it. Well, it was a gift, so I guess I could look on the bottom at some point, but I hadn't really given it much thought. Oh, by the way, guys, the Cousin Eddie special is still here. No, I haven't made any more with his bug eyes. I need to, I'll make some. I'll definitely, I'll make some more. Once I made that one, I got texts from people telling me that I needed to make a whole bunch of them from friends and family. Oof, a little bit too much feather here. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I'll have to trim this guy down. I don't want to waste any, you know what I mean? This is good quality stuff here. Alright, where's my orange? Just a little bit of orange in there. No flash on this one. Yeah, I was talking to my brother the other day about making these lures, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm sure all these pro lure tying guys on YouTube are like, if they watch this, they're just cringing. This is like true amateur hour. Hey, I don't care. I'm just, you know, this is for me and for friends, family. I got nothing to prove, man. I got nothing to prove. Plus, it's been a long day. Yeah, but it was fun to go out there and catch that fish, and those guys are like, hey, man, he just showed up, and don't we all want those days where we just look so pro? And they left not long after that, and they didn't realize that, you know, the wind was going to die down. The sun eventually came out. But I guess they got fed up. The thing is, they must have been, well, I know they were fishing for catfish. One guy was throwing lures for bass and striper. Oh my gosh, guys, do I actually have one here that came out, dare I say, perfect? Perfect for my standards. Perfect for me. Oh, dang. Alright, let's get our glue in here, and then we'll get this one off and take a look at them. I got the super glue out from when I was working on the other thing, but really this Zap-A-Gap brush on is pretty good. That's the other one I'm normally using. What is up with this? It's been acting weird. This thing not wanting to rotate. Alright, let's get this guy trimmed just a little. Alright guys, it's got just a little hint of orange in there. And it'll look better once it's in the water and it has a chance to loosen up. Man, that's good stuff. Alright, we're going to do one more orange with that. We're going to do that one on a green. Yeah, there's been a couple other times when I've been out fishing where I showed up, and I don't like to drop right on somebody's spot. You know how that people just get ticked off, but I'll get where like I can move down, and I'll be within like maybe 100 yards, 50 yards at the closest, but I'll show up to a spot, and I don't know, this probably happens to you guys too. And I mean, if you know what you're doing, when you go up, you get there and you start catching fish, doing what you're there to do, and then the people that are there are like, hey, how'd you, he's catching fish already. That happened to me 2 weeks ago. As soon as I got there, actually we got there at the same time. I think I already told this story, but man, I just whacked a fish on the fall on a Meps with that spark shad, and just pure clutch. And the dude's girlfriend's like, honey, he's already on. I'm pretty sure she said on, but or got one. I think she said on. It probably irked him. I didn't pay attention. I was trying to get the fish in, but I could hear her. Yep, I messed this one up, guys. No? It'll be alright. So then I got the fish in, took a picture, all that good stuff, and then I went right back out there. And whacked another one. Two stripers in a row. And then, wasn't on camera, but the dude hollers out, what are you getting them on? And I said, Meps inline spinner with a swim bait on it. And I knew he wasn't going to have any Meps on him. Meps is more kind of a Midwest thing. I mean, they're down here, but you just don't really see them that much. And I don't think he really knew what I was talking about until I said inline spinner. I think I said Meps first, and then I knew he didn't have a clue. So then I said inline spinner. But it felt good, to show up there and, you get a couple fish and people are already there and they hadn't been catching anything. I mean, they didn't catch a single thing that I ever saw. And, I mean, I was keeping my eyes out, or keeping an eye open, just to kind of see what was going on, but nothing. Somebody asked me if I've ever been kicked out of any places for fishing. Like those clickbait YouTube videos. Cops called or whatever. This one I'm going to put a little flash on. Where's my flash? Where is my flash? Ah, here it is. Cops called, remove, kicked out of golf course or whatever the heck is going on. Neighborhood association pond. Oh, that's where my brother lives. And I'll tell you that story here in a minute. But anyway, so nothing crazy like that. None of that clickbait stuff have I ever had anything like that. But the neighborhood that my brother lives in has like a home association type deal. We have one here too where I'm at, but it doesn't, there's no ponds are involved or affected by any of it that I know of. But anyway, so we were fishing this little neighborhood pond, and I mean there's some real lunkers in there. He caught, it was like a 6-pound bass on a bar ass hot dog, a little piece. We were fishing for catfish, And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what on earth? How is that thing in here eating hot dogs? Anyway, so that was a different time. But it was a cold day. And it was probably right about now. And I had my line out there casting and doing all the stuff I do. And then he had to run back to the house to do something for one of his boys, I think. Something where he had to head to the house. So he said, I'll be right back. And I said, hey man, what if the little people come by, check to see if I live in this area? So he gave me his little homeowner's card. So it's got his name on there. And what do you know? So anyway, he was going to swing by and get us something to drink. Even though it was cold, we were going to get some Gatorade or something. So I'm sitting there fishing and having a good old time. And I think I caught 2 bass there was this little pergola, kind of like a gazebo thing that's out over the water. So I had a couple fish there, and this car, I'd seen it drive by, and then it did a U-turn. And I was thinking, oh great, I know who this is. So sure enough, this dude jumps out in his little security outfit. And he comes up and he said, hey, you catching anything? I said, oh yeah, I just caught this one just a second ago. And he said, I never known anybody to catch anything in here, but I'm always having to chase people out of here. I'm like, what do you mean chase people out of here? He said, well, you got to live here to be able to fish here. And I was like, oh, I got you. Oh man, guys, this one turned out great. The orange with the feathers there and just a little bit of flash. I wasn't going to do any more with flash, but I got this one in there. I need to trim that flash a little bit. Anyway, he said, so do you live here? And I said, I got a card, so I didn't say yes or no. I said, I got my card. So I whipped it out and he said, oh, okay, you're all good. And so he called me by my brother's name. And, people that know me, I gotta just, I had to be upfront and honest with him. I said, well, the thing is, it's my brother's card. He just went straight home and he's coming right back. I think he had to let the dogs in or something. Anyway, and he said, oh, yeah, you need to be with somebody that lives here. And I said, yeah, I said, here's my driver's license, same last name. And he said, yeah, but he needs to be here with you. Well, sure enough, my brother pulls right up. And I was thinking, man, that was perfect timing. So then he shows up and he says, and he knew my brother. And he's like, oh, hey, I've seen you before. Anyway, so everything turned out fine. But that was the only time, really, that I had any issues. Well, one time in Iowa, man, I was fishing the junk pond, and you watch some of my videos back in there where I've done some whopper plopper stuff. I've caught some pike in there, some crappie. I think my smallest crappie ever in Iowa. There's a video call that or something. But anyway, I was fishing there, and it was super hot for Iowa standards. I mean, it was like low 90s, but it was like super humid. I mean, it was just like a sauna. And I mean, I was just struggling. And this is when I first really was getting into the whopper plopper. And, I thought it was a gimmick lure at first. And, topwater's not really my thing. But anyway, so I'm fishing. I hear this on the road there. I hear like an SUV slow down. And it pull in, and normally nobody ever fishes there. Alright guys, this is going to have some purple in this next one. Alright, yeah, purple for this next one. Anyway, so I'm just trying to trim a little bit here. I'm getting out of this hackle, and I'm going more for this right here. So this SUV, I hear it, it pulls up. And once in a while, people will show up there to like put a kayak in, or to... I had one dude show up there that was looking for bullfrogs. And he'd asked if I'd seen any. I said, man, they're all over the place. He had this, like a trident spear. And he was all into it. And he was... You know, he came out with like 4 or 5 of them. Anyway, so this... I hear this ruckus coming through the grass where I was. I mean, I had like walked back in there. And all of a sudden I see like a tan baseball cap. And it was an honest to goodness game warden DNR for Iowa. And there's DNR, the little station there, these dudes that do, like they maintain try to take care of the milfoil. There's some food plots they take care of, and we've, you know, they're at our favorite fishing hole there, and there's a little checkpoint station. But this dude was like a legit sidearm game warden, and so he said, "Hey, how's it going? I don't see too many people fishing here." And I was like, "Me neither. We call this a junk pond, but I've been catching some good northern in here lately on some topwater and catching some crappie." And he said, "Oh yeah?" He said, "Do you have a fishing license? I noticed that you have Texas plates, Texas Tech sticker in the window." And I said, "Oh, and I bet you were just drooling when you saw that, huh?" And he just kind of laughed. He said, "Well, you don't see that too much around here." And I said, "Well, the family farm is just like right over there." And he described it to him. And he said, "Oh, I know exactly where it is. You know, can't miss, especially with all the turkeys that we've got." Anyway, so he was pretty cool. And I was talking to him, told him what my job was and how I spend the summers up there. And I was telling him, I was like, man, if he ever wanted to get into some real exciting game warden or law enforcement stuff, to come down to Texas, because you got the coast, you've got the panhandle, far west Texas, where you got bighorn sheep, you got mountain lions, sometimes you get bears out in Big Bend. Actually, you do have bears in Big Bend. Then you have East Texas, where you got gators, water moccasins all over the states, rattlesnakes, and then you got mule deer and whitetail deer. You've got feral hogs. I mean, you got natural javelinas. What is up with this thing? There we go. Anyway, and plus it's dangerous because you got to deal with like cartel issues. And so he was like, nah, I think I kind of want to stick to the Midwest. But he was real curious about... I got to trim this one up. I can't remember what his name was, but he was a really nice dude, and he was real curious about, Texas and all the kind of stuff that, we see when we fish. You want to know why how was it that I knew to look for pike in there, in the crappie in the pond that I was at. So he wasn't really from that part of the state. And so I was kind of telling him all the different areas. And anyway, it turned out he was a pretty cool dude. But then this summer, we were fishing. And I want to say it was my older brother, his wife, and his kid, Matt. Shout out to Matt. Catching out to both of them, to my brother and Matt, my nephew Matt. He was catching some nice fish. So the game warden showed up, but this was a different one. This dude was from Kansas anyway. My dad and I, we were looking at these carp that were coming in to feed, and we were trying to catch them. And so my dad was excited because he never really had seen a DNR game warden come through there like a legit peace officer kind of guy. And so we talked to him for a little while, and then he was telling us that he had done a little bit of work in Kansas, and then he wanted to come up to Iowa. And he was also curious about Texas, and there's a lot of acreage that some of these guys will cover 2 counties, and these Texas counties, guys, are just behemoth territories. And so he was kind of curious about that, and seeing Texas, you got open carry and all these different things, and so he was asking about that, and he's a really cool guy. But other than that, I've never had any situations where people were like, get off my lawn, get out of here, I'm calling the cops because you're fishing here, or any kind of run-ins with, that type of stuff. But I get that question quite a bit. I guess it's clickbait kind of stuff that people fall for it. I got kicked out of this pond, cops called, all that kind of stuff. No. The only clickbait thing I think I ever really did was I was fishing at our favorite fishing hole in Iowa, and I had the weirdest thing happen. Something came up out of the water like 6 inches, and it just swam, and it was weird. It almost looked like if you put your fist up out of the water and you shook it and you swam. And I couldn't figure out what that was. The only way, I was looking straight ahead and down, and it was off to my right. And thank goodness I had the camera going. I was like, guys, did you see that? What was that? Anyway, so for clickbait, I put in there alien something or other, alien creature at the fishing hole. What is it? So I did that video. I don't know, it was like 3 years ago. Oh my gosh. So that was actually I had a clickbait a year or so ago. So I was fishing up in Oklahoma on these bluffs, and I could hear this rustling above me, and I turned my head to look up, and there was a kid in camouflage sitting on top of a rock looking at me. And so he shows up in the camera there just briefly, and then I think I put in my clickbait deal, Bigfoot appearance, or Bigfoot was watching me, or something dumb like that. But anyway, I don't, other than that, I'm not much for doing clickbait stuff. I don't know. I get so much feedback from friends and buddies, and they're always like, you need to do this, you need to say that for a title. I just try to keep everything streamlined. I don't, need any clickbait stuff. All right, guys, so go ahead and watch this clip of the fishing expedition today. Thanks for hanging around for the lure tying. And let me set this down right here. I had a lot of fun. I always have fun tinkering with the lures. And a shout out once again to the family that dropped that fly tying or lure tying material for me. That is very kind of them, and I'm going to put it to good use. As you can see, I've got them hanging over here, the 3, what did I do, 3 or 4? I got to get eyeballs on them, and we'll be good to go. But anyway, I was going to do this live tonight, but I had so much other stuff going on today, and I was so tired from putting all the got boxes and boxes, and I still got to get part of the Christmas tree stuff situated. I had the second Christmas tree put away, I guess I should say. But anyway, so I just said, I'm going to go through this tackle real quick, do some modifications, tie a few crappie jigs, and then pop in the fishing video. Anyway, so take a look at this, enjoy it. Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. We're up here on the Red River. Gonna try a new section of the river here. And I'm in between what looks like a couple of stumps here. Boy, it's a stiff north wind. Temperatures in the low 40s. Whew. Snow in Amarillo, snow in the Texas Panhandle. But here in the North Texas area, just some rain. But it is chilly. North wind, they said maybe 8 to 10 with gusts like to 12. It's more like 10 to 12 with gusts to like 16. Anyway, we're gonna throw this Lipless crankbait right here, this fire tiger. It's good for this time of year. I got single hooks on it. So I like to go with single hooks. I know a lot of people are like, oh man, that makes it hard. Well, I don't mind the challenge. So I'm on the Mach 2 Lose with Lose Speed Spin 30. And I'm just doing what I always do with the Lipless. Slowly try to work it through because it's cold for this time of year in North Texas. And the fish don't fight as much. They don't want to put out the energy, but they'll still bite. So hopefully we'll get something. I had to update my fishing license because we're in the new year. Happy New Year, by the way. So I got that all taken care of. So what do we have in here? We got largemouth or smallmouth, gar, striper, white bass. There's even yellow bass. A ton of sunfish. So hopefully we'll catch some good stuff. Brought the drop shot. I gotta try that. Got my new setup with the drop shot. Felt like I had a thump there. I had that the last time I was fishing on the river. I had these stripers would come up and thump it, kind of like trout do. Oh yeah, guys, I gotta take a look and see where the trout stockings are gonna be, because they've been doing them now since December. Here in Texas, they put them in different locations, so may be fun to go out and see if we can get a trout or two. The other day I was talking about, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not, but it's fun. It's also a good source of protein for the bass. These big Texas bass will just inhale those smaller trout. You hear about these guys catching these big bass over 10 pounds. And the trout will definitely be a key part of that. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name's Alan, and I make different kinds of videos, but mostly fishing videos. So I appreciate everyone's support. 2024. Hopefully everyone has epic fishing in 2024. Testing new lures, getting your gear. Let me know if you got anything for Christmas. What new stuff you got? Alright guys, we're hooked up on the Fire Tiger Green Lipless crankbait. Just got smoked. Check it out, it's a nice largemouth. Boy, he just hammered it. Where are my pliers? Of course I don't have them ready. Check him out, that's a nice fish right there. He's got a little spot where he got hammered. Looks like by, if you can see it right there. Looks like he got hit by like a bird. Alright, we're not gonna weigh this guy, but we're gonna get him back in there. That was a good one. I'll show you guys what I'm using. This guy right here. switched to single hooks, and it worked out pretty good. Pretty good. Let's keep it going. This thing looks good. Anything fire tiger, guys. Gotta do it. Gotta go for it. Yep, and it had trebles, but I switched them out to singles. And you could see I had no trouble. Uh-oh, this may be an issue here with that stump. That was a rough cast there. I do want to work around that stump, and I have, but that one was Snag City there. Anyway, a little bit of nail polish for a little bit of blood added to it. Adds to, uh-oh. Here we go. Makes this thing look mighty delicious. Well, there was a big fish that jumped out there. Guys, I can't even tell you what brand that is. It's not a monster bass. It may be one that I got in a mystery tackle box. It didn't have any markings on there, like any brand stamps or anything. But anything fire tiger when it's cloudy is good. The thing is, when it's cold like this, don't work it too fast. You just gotta, it's kind of a feel type thing. Because they don't want to put out a lot of effort into chasing down something, so you just gotta kind of work it. Alright guys, I'm throwing this fire craw jackhammer with an exo stick trailer on it. I've had some big carp popping up all around me, but no striper or bass. God, this thing is just epic. So there you can see the little exo stick trailer on there. It's got a black blade, fire crawl. This is mainly for the spring, but it's so much fun to throw. I just love to throw it, so that's what I'm doing. Even with the sun out now, things have calmed down. The wind isn't all ferocious.